It is time to expand minds through movies, TV, sports, and flicks. It is time to boldly go where no podcast has gone before. It is time for the Captain Talks Flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talks Flicks podcast. I'm your host, Captain Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. And ladies and gentlemen, this past week, I went back to the wilderness of mirrors, back to CIA. Yeah, went back there. It was a great time. So beginning that, first couple things. I want to give a big shout out to Italy. Got to play in Italy this past week. Grazie. In Italy this past week, I drank a NA beer, because I don't drink alcohol. I drink non-alcoholic beer. And the beer that me and my lady drank was Peroni. Peroni, there's another name with it. I heard it's a really cool beer. The bottle's phenomenal. Taste was crisp. Great. I didn't get drunk because I don't drink, but it tastes like real beer, bro. It was so good. It's like drinking Sit in the Hall on Star Trek. So Italy, that beer, Peroni, fantastic. And thanks to this podcast. And additionally, this episode is brought to you by my album called Time Shall Unfold Part 3. It's the conclusion of a 3-part album of me revisiting my older tracks for the last 15 years, or actually more than that, actually 20, 30 years. That done my various homeboys over the years, hip-hop style, experimental spoken word style, different styles over the years. My evolution of my style in a time travel story told throughout 3 parts. It was a fantastic journey making all the songs. It was emotional kind of revisit those things. Because I did those years back when I was a younger human being. I mean, one of my day was like 21, like way back in the day. And to revisit those, beliefs and ideas and language and raps and rhymes and beats, it just made me feel like a certain type of way. Like felt a little whatever, right? It was woo, wow. So if you want to hear the album called Time Shall Fall Part 3, look below, check it out. Now, let's go to the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this past week, I went back to the CIA. I've been there many times, actually. Not really. But at least on TV and in books I have been. And so this particular show on CBS, brought to us by Dick Wolf and the FBI world. The show CIA is connected to the world that's been built about the FBI by Dick Wolf. I used to watch FBI International a lot. It's part of that whole world. This is focused on the CIA partnering up with the FBI agent to operate inside America. Because generally, for the most part, the CIA does not operate inside the America. They have to have some liaisons to that because generally they operate outside the United States. But in this particular show, they are operating in the United States. I don't think it happens that much. But anyways, in this week's episode, we see the FBI dude, the CIA guy, try to track a terrorist from another country. They're planning on doing some kind of, terrorism type stuff. And they track these guys down. And they, of course, spoiler, in between trying to stop the plots, shut the terrorists down, they take a journey there, and I want to get into talk about that journey specifically. There's a couple things from this show that I want to talk about. Spoiler. Now, as you know, if you've been listening to this podcast for a long time, you know that I've read tons and tons and tons of spy books. Tons and tons of TV shows, documentaries, you name it. I have watched a lot of it. Going way back, probably the last 10, 15 years. I've also studied counterterrorism a lot. I've studied that whole world quite a bit for a long period of time. I went down that rabbit hole so much, right? And learned so many different beliefs, ideas, concepts about this world. And in that journey, one thing that I kind of thought, at least in what I had read and looked at, now I've never lived life, so I don't know what it's really like, but I will say that in the stuff I read and consumed, and some of it's true stories, some are actually based on real events. And these are real stories told by real human beings, right? And some not so much, but in the most part, what I had gathered, if you were in the CIA, okay, and this is not a disrespect to anyone in that organization. There are 5 people, I've never known any. Maybe I've met some didn't know. But these human beings, generally from what I've read and heard in the podcast, everything, it's just a lot of times they just don't have, like, quotation mark, regular relationships with a wife, kids, or husband, kids. Generally, a lot of times in the stories I've heard over the years, I never thought that took place, or very seldom, or just it was not a good look for that to happen. Now, fast forward to this episode, my whole belief on our paradigm has been shifted. I mean, my whole thought process has just been just changed significantly. I had to rethink this whole thing, this whole time. I was thinking, I was like, dude, I should have thought a little bit deeper. Because what happened is, the CIA guy, his name is Colin, I forgot, I'll learn it next week. But CIA dude, he's stopping this terrorist young man. And he tells a story to him, because stories are what stops people. You want to stop someone doing something, tell them a story. Tell them a fantastic narrative story, and you will stop somebody. A lot of times you will. So anyways, in this particular episode, we find out that the CIA dude does not have kids or wife. At least that's what we think. And so they're talking about this, they're having a conversation with someone, and he's saying that's weakness, right? He said, I don't have fame as weakness. So, it's one faster way to my throat. Anytime there's someone really close to you, or like, there is could be leveraged. Yeah, a lot of times. I do agree with that thought process. Right? So yeah, I do understand that the little links to you, the less someone can get at you in an adverse way, in these kind of situations. I believe there's some truth to that. And then let the FBI just, that's a sad way to live. Right? Yeah, and it's like, okay, makes sense. Everything I ever heard, seen, as far as the CIA was concerned, it was like that. Never had a family. And I even said on this podcast many times that in the world of being a superhero, in the world of being a CIA spy, you just can't have a family. I mean, just can't. I've said it over and over again on these podcasts multiple times, because in the entertainment I've seen, superheroes and spy stuff, which is heavily influenced by art and music, it doesn't seem that way. Now, in this particular episode, after the CIA dude said all that, we find at the end, he's walking to a house, goes to a house, looks like he's creeping around, staking it out, walks in, and there's a kid there and a woman there, and this is his wife and his kid, at least it seems to be. And he's like, hey, honey, hey to the kid, like, this is his family. I mean, at the end of the episode, it looks like he has a family. Now, maybe this guy did what I thought couldn't be done. And also, additionally, maybe this whole time, it actually how it works, right? Maybe everything I've ever read was purposely done that way, so you don't know they have families. It makes total sense. If you're in that world, would you want someone to have a family? Probably not. Makes total sense. So they would do everything on the outside world to make it seem like they don't have one. Makes total sense. So anytime I read a book by someone that said they do it, probably did it to protect their family. And maybe they said it, I was single, didn't have family, didn't work out, but maybe it did and they just didn't tell it. Makes total sense. And it's their prerogative. If they do not want to tell that for the safety of their family, because the job they do, makes total sense. I totally get that. And I can't believe I never thought about this the whole time that I was reading these, books and all this. I never thought once that maybe someone just said that and it wasn't true. Not once. Consider that case officers and all these guys CIA sometimes have to bend the truth, tell narratives that aren't true, being undercover. That's part of their job. Why would they do that? Makes total sense. Makes total sense. I can't believe I never even thought that one time. It just shows you how naive that I was and am. As much as I've read these books, heard these stories, heard the interviews, watched the documentaries, learned as much as possible about this great game, The World of Samaras, to think like, bro, you don't know anything. And additionally, not just spying and CIA, but in general, life in general. You navigate it, you learn things, take action. And as you keep navigating, layers upon layers upon layers of the onion of life just reveal themselves to you. And you think you know something, and you learn more and more, like, oh my, how did I not see that? Because, bro, life can be complex, and learning how life works and the nature of how things work is a lifelong process. And sometimes you just gotta be there and go through it to learn it. And I've been learning this. I'm 50 years old now. I will say this. I still don't know anything. Be real about it. I'm always a white belt, always novice. And I've been saying that for the last decade. And even now, let's be real, in the last few years, I kind of thought I knew this and knew that. To be real, I've leveled up and I've learned new things. 100%. I'm getting better. I'm getting smarter and whatever. But still, that being said, I still got a lot to learn. So ladies and gentlemen, CIA this week. Phenomenal episode. I highly recommend you check the show. It's really good. If you want to dip into the spy world, great watch. So thanks for joining me. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, we'll see you. Live long and prosper. Spy. Until next time, it's got to be.
The Captain Talks.